Hello guys, back to another video, and today we're gonna do something different. We're gonna analyze some hands that I played on the 100NL Plain Explain previous video, and I'm gonna show you how I study these spots, the review sessions, and I have to give a shout out to Clanty because I watch his Ranked Ones videos. Has very great content on the Ranked Ones, and back in the days he made how he approached his studies on the review sessions, and I thought that is a very cool approach and helped me a ton. So I'm gonna jump into action. So we open a GTOW wizard, their player, and one notepad to take some notes. So firstly, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna write our thoughts, and then we're gonna see the GTOW wizard, what it says. It's not the right approach to just see the hand, how the GTOW plays. You have to think what your range gonna be doing, what your hand gonna be doing. You have to think the exploitive part of the hand. And this is what's gonna make you a greater player, not just go log into GTOW wizard and see that oh, my hand is a pure fold or it's mixing or something like that. We have to think. So firstly, we have the 4-6 suited hand, button rake opens, and I think my first thought was if this hand mixes 3 bets, my hand doesn't mix 3 bets. I think it has to be the 6. It's kind of bad, the 6, because it does block some of his raise folds, hands like A6 suited, King 6 suited type of hands. So firstly, never 3 bets. We do get the Queen 5-4 board, and we check to him. On this board, I think he has to bet 1/3 medium frequency of his range, around 60 to 65. And he goes for the 2/3, and this is not a great size, I believe, because on the button versus big blind spot, you have to value bet the hands like pocket 6s, pocket 7s, pocket 8s, king 5, jack 5, because the big blind has a very wide range. So first, big size, not that great, and we can make the argument that it will be a more strong range. So first, the 2/3 sizing. First of all, I think our check raising range for value gonna be very polar, and I believe that we have to raise almost always the 2 pairs with the Queen 5s and the 4 5s. So the top 2 pairs and the bottom 2. So Queen 5 suited and plus 4-5 suited, which we have low frequency because we 3-bet pure. It's high frequency, check raise value. I think our set's gonna be in there, and I think I will probably start mixing hands like king queen with 1 spade, and I think that's it versus 2/3 sizing. We have to be very polar and use specific combos. So I think, and some king queen spade dex combos. And I think we typically want to have the queen of diamonds or the queen of clubs to block the queen 5 and the queen 4 suited region. So queen clubs maybe plus queen diamonds. It's great. We don't want to have the queen of hearts, I think, because the queen of hearts blocks his bet calls. Hands like queen 8 suited, queen 9 suited that we want to take value. So I think this heuristic is fine, and as a bluffs, check raise bluffs, I think for the most of the part our range doesn't want to have many bluffs because we do have low value in this spot. So I think for mainly our check raise bluffs gonna be around the flush draws, and mainly gonna be around the 5 and the 4 with backdoor equity. So hands like king 6 suited, jack 6 suited maybe, and also the combo draws, hands like 7-8 suited, etc. And one very important heuristic is that in this spot, I think we have to turn a pocket pairs into a bluff. I think that this combo, I think I said it also in the plain explain, when villain goes for the large sizing, he typically says that he has pocket fours, queen four, I think queen four mixes, queen five, pocket fives, ace queen, king queen, pocket kings, pocket aces. So versus the 2/3 sizing, we can't check raise for value hand like queen jack, because he can bet big with queen jack most of the time. So he says that he has a very strong range, and when he says that he has a very strong range, I think turning pairs into a bluff, it's the mainly heuristic here. So turning pairs into a bluff, and we're gonna see that if our thought process is great or not in this spot. So we pure call 4-6 suited, we get the queen 5-4 board, we check, and we're gonna see that rarely uses the large sizing and mainly wants to go with the small sizing and the half pot sizing. And versus the 2/3 sizing, so let's see, check raise for value. We do have some queen 5 suited, which is nice. We will mix. We do have some 4-5 suited, 4s and 5s, high frequency, so that's great. And we do, I said that we want to find some king queens with spade X combos, and we will see that this is not the case in this spot. So it's bad. It's bad because he uses large sizing. I think if he start betting 1/3, I think king queen will be a high frequency check raise, because it's the best top pair that we will have in this spot. We're gonna see that it's rarely also in this spot, so we typically get this spot wrong, but it's fine. We are here to learn. So check raise bluffs. For the most of the part, I think we have flush draws, as we said. And I said that we will have flush draws around the 5 and the 4. So king 6 suited, jack 6 suited, 7-8 suited, etc. And we're gonna see that this is the portion of our range that we want to typically check raise more often, because this hand has a very great blockers to his calling range. The 6 turns open-ended, block king queen, over to the queen, etc, etc, etc. Great flush draw. So want to put money into the pot. And now we're gonna see that second pairs and third pairs starts to mixing check raises, and we're gonna see that the 20% of our third pairs and second pairs uses as our check raise. And I think it's really important that we start raising very, very, very wide our second and bottom pairs, especially these ones with the backdoor equity. So great find, and great find this one as well. And we're gonna see, I think I said that we'll check raise this hand before 66 around 2 out of 3 times, and we're gonna see that the 4-6 suited it's around half the time check raise. You can also use the pot size with the 4-6. If you use it to the half pot, I think it's around 66, so it's a very great find for me. But we don't want to see the solution and see that, okay, I make it well. As I said, the reg uses 2/3 sizing on the 1/3 max half pot board, so you will have much stronger range. So we call, we get the 8. I think the 8, it's great for his range, as he can see bet a lot of hands like king 8 with 1 spade, ace 8 with 1 spade for 2/3. Typically he finds a lot of second pairs on the turn. Also he does find some straights, some 6-7s, because 6-7 suited it's a high frequency 3-bet from us, and also it's a high frequency check raise with a spade and a heart. So typically it's a great turn for his range. And I think he mainly gonna use 2/3. So he checks back. And we do have the 9 river. And on the 9 river, I think we will mainly have two sizings here. I think I like to go with the block and 2/3, block and the pot. Block will be around our top pairs. and the 2/3 gonna be around I think mainly from some straights and some two pairs, some sets. I think my hand is pure checking, and versus check he goes for the 2/3, and versus the 2/3 and the hard river. I said that my hand has great unblockers to his bluffing range, because a lot of the 6 spades wants to bet on the turn, because blocks a lot of our mainly continuing range. For example, if he has a hand like king 6 suited, it's mainly betting on the turn. A6 suited, jack 6 suited, 10-6 suited. You see that it's a high frequency bet on the turn. So the 6, it's a great unblocker to his bet check bet lines, that he can have hands like ace deuce, ace 3, king 3, king 10 with one spade, king jack one spade, etc. So we're gonna see that hands like king jack one spade checks the turn, king jack with king spades checks the turn, king jack with the king spade checks the turn, and I think he will always find those as bluff on the river. So he goes 2/3, and I thought my hand will be a mix, and we're gonna see that our hand is probably a mix and calling half the time. So from GTOW point of view, I think my hand, my call was right, but I don't believe that versus his range, that he uses 2/3 on the flop, on the 1/3 sizing, it's great to call. So the 4-6 suited hand, it was great GTO, great GTO approach, but exploit. And that was the sad part of this hand, that at the end of the day, we want to adapt to the ranges, the real ranges, and not the GTO ranges. So I think my hand will be mainly losing in the long run. So that was a pretty bad call, and I'm gonna go to the next hand, I think. So the second hand was the king queen off, king queen offsuit. Because I don't have, I can't see it to 150 big blinds. We're gonna see it to 100 big blinds deep. So we saw that probably a recreational player opens on the cutoff, and we have king queen offsuit. I think it's a clear 3-bet pure. I think I want to make it pure versus recreational. I think versus 2x you can also call this hand for sure, especially if there are weaker players behind. But I think versus recreational I want to just maximize my EV and always 3-bet this hand. And we're gonna see that we do take the king 5-6 board. So king 5-6 board, king high board, I expect 1/3 range, king high board, range 1/3. I think it's simple. One thing that I thought in game, it's because there is the 6 and the 5 on the board, and we don't have 6s and 5s pure as a 3-bet. We typically call those hands, and the cutoff, I think it's high frequency calling that hands, also the 6-5 suited region. I thought that we can maybe check this board, well, so let's see. And we get that it's a very great board for range, because the king high, we typically 3-bet many king x on these positions, ace king off, king queen off, king jack off, king 10 suited, king jack suited, also all these hands, and the cutoff doesn't have all those hands. So we went to the 1/3 sizing, and the turn is the 7. When we c-bet and the turn is the 7, I think the 7 is a very great board for his range, card for his range. Also, he does check call on the king high board out of position on this board, and I think the 7 brings 7s and some 8-9s. The recreational will find. Also 6-7 suited, it's a 2-pair now. Also pocket 8s and pocket 9s has a gutshot. 8 has an open end and 9 a gutshot. So very great turn for his range, and I think when the range, his range has too much equity on this turn, I think we can size up our bets. because we don't want to hands like pocket nines get great odds. So I think on the 7 we will have medium to low frequency c-bet, high frequency check, mid low frequency c-bet for 2/3, And in game I was thinking if I want to bet the king-queen hand on the turn. And I think it's probably a mix. One thing that we will have to consider is if there will be a lot of check raises on the turn versus the 2/3 sizing. I think in GTO world there will be no that many check raises on the turn, but I think in practice it will be. I think because button will have a lot of hands like ace-8 suited, ace-9 suited, ace-queen with one heart that can double barrel or triple barrel. The cutoff wants to slow play some of his best hands. That I believe in practice will not be the case, because I think recreational or even weak regs will fast play their hands. So yep, that's my thought process here. And now, so I think GTO bet or check the turn, and we will say get check raised enough. GTO no, exploit yes. The second thing we have to consider is our blockers. So king of diamonds is a great blocker that blocks his calling range. So it's one of our greatest king X that we can have here. He have hands like king 10 suited, king jack suited, so we take value. And the queen of clubs, we have to think about if it's a great blocker or to check or to bet. So firstly, we have to think if we have a heart, hands like king queen with a heart, it's greater or not. And I believe that in this spot we have to have the heart here, because if he has to check raise, he will have to check raise some heart combos. Also, if the heart brings on the river, we block some flashes. So I think that king queen heart X greater than king queen no heart P. Then we have to think if the king queen is a great bet on the turn or it's a pure check, if it gets value from some hands. And I think it's probably a mix, because there is a lot of hands that we can get called behind. Hands like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, flush draws for 5. Also we do have outs versus 6-7 suited, etc, etc, etc. So I think king queen mixes them, and I think around 40-60 it's fine. 40 bet, 60 check. So let's see. I think that cutoff can even have some donks on the 7, to be honest. If it's a low frequency donk, we're gonna see our strategy here. So as I said, king high board range bet, fine. 7 mid low frequency c-bet for 2/3, and it's pretty correct. We c-bet around 40% for 2/3 sizing. And as I said, because the 7 brings a lot of equity to his range, a lot of his continuing range, we want to size up. So very nice. Very nice, this one. And we have to consider if there is a bet or check on the turn. We said that GTO is not that many check raises. Exploit, I said there is. King queen, I said there is a crater with a heart. And I said the king queen that mixes 40 checks. So first of all, we're gonna go to the 2/3. And we're gonna say that there is a check raise on the turn. The 10% check raise for his range for around 1/6 of his range, it's a lot, I think. So there is a lot of check raise on the turn. So it's one heuristic that we can't bet a lot of king X on the turn, because we don't want to get jack jumped. Now we're gonna see the king queen if we want to bet or not, and we're gonna see that king queen with a heart. I said it's a greater that king queen no heart, and I think it's a great heuristic. We're gonna see that king queen with a heart, the three combos king queen offsuit with the heart bets more often than the king queen without. And for the most of the part, king queen bets around 40% of the time. That was a great find for me. But the king queen, he likes to bet with a spade, king queen with the queen of spades, because the queen of spades block his river bluffs, hands like ace queen suited, I guess. I think that's the thing. That's the thing. So king with the queen of clubs, it's a great check because unblocks a heart and the backdoor queen x of spades. So we checked. River was the 9 of hearts, and he goes for the 2/3, and we see that our hand is a pure call. Unfortunately, it's a pure call, and I thought that my hand will be maybe break even without the heart and we're gonna pure call with the heart. But I believe that the cutoff will probably bet king queen for value. Yep, he bets king queen for value for 2/3, so it's a value beater. That's the reason that you want to call the king queen on the river. But I don't believe that population will find the king queen bet on the river for 2/3. So I think my hand overall it's a great fold. And I think I will pure call with the king queen with the queen of hearts, which was very fine. So guys, that was the video for today. I hope you like it. If you're interested for something different, you can write down to the comments. Until the next one, take care.